Final of the women's double sculls. The standout crew once again from New Zealand, the Olympic and world champions. And might be a very different affair for the New Zealanders.
Well, they were shocked a little bit in Lucerne at the World Cup there when Nekova and the Bulgarian double beat them for the title there. So they're on a revenge track. They started off the season at the World Cups in singles, and that was very interesting to see them racing against each other. But then they came together. Lucerne was a disappointment, and here they're out for revenge.
Indeed they are, but of course Rumiana Nekova, Olympic bronze medalist in Athens, Olympic silver medalist behind Katarina Karsten back in Sydney, and that so tight finish. And between those times, of course, the world champion in single sculls in 2002 and 2003. So it's a very promising Bulgarian partnership, and it's going to be fascinating to see how the evers-swindell twins deal with the challenge which is on their immediate left. On their immediate right, of course, Elise Laverick and Debbie Flood. Elise Laverick, bronze medalist in the women's double sculls a year ago in Athens. Debbie Flood, a silver medalist with the British quad, of course, also at the Olympic regatta. So a high-class field.
High-class field, but I think that no one's going to touch the leading two, Bulgaria and New Zealand. I think it's really going to be a battle between these two, because they really are going to go head-to-head, and you can see the power that is being unleashed there by the New Zealand double. They're determined now. Remember, we've already got 3 gold medals from New Zealand up until now. They're determined to try and make that 4 in a row.
Shouldn't rule out the Australians as well. Amber Bradley, very experienced, former world champion in the quad, with her partner Sally Kehoe. They're out on the far side in lane 1, which is arguably the difficult lane because you're just a little bit off the race pace.
Absolutely, and it's hard to read the race when everybody's on the other side of you. But at stroke, Sally Kehoe is the new star from Australia. She's only 18 years old, and really she's a star in the making.
But New Zealand, a very decisive first 500, and they've opened up to virtually clear water. Now it's going to be interesting to see whether Nekova and Markova can really start to counter-attack, because they're going to need to try and reel them back in this second quarter.
I wonder whether Germany could do that, because Germany so far in this regatta has not featured at all, and usually they're very good in the sculling events. They've taken Boron out of this event and put her into the quad to try and beef that up for the quads later on in the regatta. But at the moment it's Bulgaria who are doing the most in terms of putting pressure on this fantastically effective New Zealand crew.
Well, Germany, we saw at the Olympic Games last year, no medals for the German men's division, and it was the women who flew the flag. But one has to say, perhaps Jutelau running out of ammunition as her athletes group gets a little older. But here are the British, Debbie Flood and Elise Laverick, and at the moment in the bronze medal position, but being pressed by Australia.
Yes, being pressed by Australia, but the British are the sort of coming nation, really. They've got 6 medalists from Athens, and you can really build a very, very effective team around such a very successful group of athletes. Because usually at the end of a season they win some medals and they usually give up the sport. Here we've got 6 athletes moving on, carrying on through to the next Olympics. So that's going to be a period when I think that the British will really start to show up well.
Well, this is an astonishing second quarter here by the evers-swindell sisters, because they have absolutely destroyed the opposition. Far from the Bulgarians getting back on terms, getting the overlap. They may well be in second place, but they are, well, half the river behind, metaphorically speaking, because surely they're never going to come back from 4 seconds down. And that second quarter, Dan, 1:47.87 compared to 1:50 and 1:51 respectively for Bulgaria and Australia. That is real punishment.
Well, they're at 33 strokes a minute. They've done that huge push in the middle of the race. If you remember, that's what the men's pair did for New Zealand. That's what the women's pair did in the middle there. They just pushed on, and they've done the same thing here again. And I don't know, I mean, she's a very good finisher, Nekova. The Bulgarians could really come back at the end, but my goodness, they've been exposed here.
So it begs the question, Dan, we've seen the 2 twins, Georgina and Caroline, now for many a season. What is it in your eyes makes them so special?
twins very often do work very well together. You know, physiologically they're absolutely matched. But it's the power of these two New Zealanders. They sit low in the boat. They're very efficient. But you just see they don't lift their heads up at all. All the drive is in the legs and the lower back. The boat doesn't check at all. You can see there it's just running and running and running, and they are beautifully matched. Look, they just pick it up. They do it absolutely simply. There's nothing so clever about it. They just sit there, and my goodness, look at the way that they just push on those legs through the middle of the stroke and unwind the finish. It's terrific rowing.
So this is really textbook. If you wanted to show pupils, those who aspire to row or to scull in this way, this would be a perfect example.
It's not hugely pretty, but what it is hugely effective. It's the way that Chop, the single sculler Chop, sculls. He's not a big guy. He sits low in the boat, uses all the power that he's got, and he doesn't waste anything.
Well, these are huge margins, Dan. The Bulgarians on their own in silver medal position, and now the Australians. All credit to Sally Kehoe and Amber Bradley, because they've actually got the better of Elise Laverick and Debbie Flood, who've now slipped down to 4th place. But who's going to stop these two? Who's going to stop New Zealand getting a 4th gold medal?
Australia were 10 seconds behind at three quarters through the race. Bulgaria were 5 seconds behind. You know, they've done the job. They've done the job. So everybody else now really are racing for the other medals. New Zealand is out in front, and they're going for that 4th successive gold medal for New Zealand.
And Miglena Markova just looking to her right, because you're absolutely correct, Dan. She was just looking for dangers to their silver medal, and at the moment there aren't any. A little bit of a wobbly picture, but not a wobbly boat, because look at these two. They look as if they're smiling their way through the final 500 metres here, because what a morning for New Zealand. It's certainly, in my experience, you go back a lot further than me, Dan, 4 gold medals consecutively in Olympic category races, and that's what we look as if we're going to see.
Well, that takes us back to the good days of New Zealand rowing in the 70s when Harry Mahon was running the cruise. But this is they were very badly stung by that defeat in Lucerne in the World Cup nearly 2 months ago. But here they are, they're wreaking their revenge. Big smile there, and they know they've got it in hand. I wonder what they're saying inside the boat.
Well, it's just a joy, isn't it now? What a morning. Drysdale kicking it off, and then Juliet Hay and Nikki Coles, and then Bridgewater and Twaddle, and now it's Caroline and Georgina Evers-Swindell. The Bulgarians do close, but only because the New Zealanders allow them to do so, and it's 4 consecutive gold medals, and most importantly for Georgina and Caroline, that is another world title. They won in 2002, 2003, they took the Olympic title, and now they've taken the 4th gold in a row. That is incredible. The margin of victory decisive, the twins wrapping up a remarkable morning for New Zealand. At 26, they must surely look to defend their Olympic title in Beijing 3 years from now.